time to reveal Falcon's kit information for you guys. I am super excited about this ship, and I have to say, I'm really happy about the way it's rolled out. And a little bit more good news, it's just going to be Han and Chewie as crew members. I'm really stoked about that. I thought that there might be a chance that C-3PO was thrown in there, which would have really sucked for anyone who didn't get C-3PO. But by now, most of you would have Han, and a lot of you are going to have Chewbacca, especially since we've had 2 chances to get him now. So if you don't have him, I feel like that's kind of, if you didn't farm the bounty hunters in between the events, that was your choice. It's very possible for you guys to have Han and Chewie now to get the most out of the Falcon. And then I also just love that we only have 4 ships required for this. I think that's fantastic. I'm excited to see how this event is going to roll out. And then the kit, in my opinion, is very fun, very cool. I think this is going to be meta breaking. I do think that the bugs are going to struggle in the meta now. The bounty hunter ships might still have a place, but it's really going to give a splash for the Rebels. And so, without any further ado, let's get into this. This is going to be a Rebel Scoundrel Attacker cargo ship. Obviously, Han and Chewie are the only crew members, and it is described as a highly modified Rebel attacker that specializes in assists and shows up at just the right time. Sounds like Han's Falcon, does it not? And you can see here, based on this graphic, they're going to describe it with a powerful reinforcement ability, which it does have, greatly boosts Rebel allies and specialize in assists. And they are recommending Home 1 as a capital ship, which will be interesting to see how many people are going to be able to dust off their Akbars and their Home 1s for this. Ghost and Phantom 2 are shown as strong synergies, and so that remains to be seen. I'll have a hard time letting go of Hound's Tooth, and fortunately it looks like the devs are too, even though some of these graphics for the basic ability, etc., don't have Hound's Tooth. In the footage, a lot of these battles do have Hound's Tooth in there. So, getting into the abilities, basic, special modifications. Final text, deal physical damage to target enemy and call another random Rebel ally to assist. Inflict target lock for 2 turns on a critical hit. If the allied capital ship is a Rebel, so if the allied capital ship is Akbar, dispel all buffs on target enemy. All right, so we've already got incentive just in the basic ability to be running this with Rebel ships. You want to have a Rebel ally that is going to be able to assist, and then if Akbar is your capital ship, then you're going to have a dispel on there as well. Special number 1, watch this. Final text, the Falcon dispels all debuffs from itself, recovers 50% health and protection, and gains the outmaneuver unique buff for 3 turns, which cannot be copied. Additionally, it gains 35% turn meter for each Rebel ally and Empire enemy. Outmaneuver is plus 25% evasion and can't be targeted while other allies are present. So a reverse taunt and then 50% health and 50% protection. That's no joke. That's going to make this ship very survivable, and that ability is on a cooldown of 3, so it won't be too difficult to use. And then special number 2, punch it! This is on a cooldown of 4. Final text, deal physical damage to all enemies and grant all allies defense penetration up for 2 turns. That's a great buff. This attack deals 25% more damage for each dark side and each Empire enemy. So very effective against Darkseid and Empire. And then look at this animation. This might be my favorite ship animation to date. And then we got a unique ability and the reinforcement ability. The unique ability is, she may not look like much. Final text, all allies gain 10% critical chance doubled for Rebel allies. The Falcon has a 50% chance to assist whenever another Rebel ally uses an ability during their turn. So like Chewbacca, we're going to kind of bleed Chewbacca's abilities into this kit. Whenever another ally, except for it's going to be any Rebels, whenever an ally reinforces, the Falcon grants them accuracy up for 2 turns. If that ally is a Rebel, they also gain critical damage up for 2 turns. Additionally, When another rebel ally is inflicted with 3 or more different debuffs, the Falcon dispels debuffs on them. Okay, so you've got a max cap. All rebels are going to have a max cap of debuffs. If you get to 3 different debuffs, they're gone. That is cool. This looks like a really powerful, unique ability, and definitely something I'm going to want to have on my fleet. And then finally, we got the reinforcement ability, which is... Yahoo! And that is grant all other allies foresight up for 2 turns and call all rebel allies to assist. Additionally, reduce the cooldowns of the allied rebel capital ship by 1 for all abilities except call reinforcement. Absolutely fantastic, and I love the way that the moment when the Falcon literally reinforces and saves the day in episode 4, that's exactly what Han says. And so I love that they called this reinforcement ability Yahoo. That's great. And then it's going to be, instead of increasing cooldowns of the enemy capital ship like Thrawn can do, this is going to decrease your own, which is something also that Phantom can do. And so if you bring Phantom and the Falcon in, you're going to have 2 opportunities to reduce those cooldowns and get ahead in the battle. I think that's great. All right, so at the end of the day, some of my initial impressions of the Falcon, it definitely looks like a ship that you guys are going to want to have. The main thing I don't like about this is my ships, I've been farming very specifically for a Geonosian, Houndstooth, Bounty Hunter mix of a fleet, and now this, I mean, the way that the Falcon works, I'm really curious. Are we going to be able to make the Falcon work at all without several rebels present? I think you can get away with Houndstooth, which the devs that provided this footage for me are doing. But is it going to be something that you can throw into your current fleets, or are you going to have to just really shake up your mods and your the gear on your rebels, that kind of thing, to make this work? I feel like you might need to, because there's so many abilities in here that demand that you have a rebel capital ship, Akbar, and that you have other rebel allied ships with you. And so I'm a bit disappointed in that from a farming standpoint, but I respect it too, because it doesn't make sense that the Falcon would have synergy with, bounty hunters or with Geonosians. It just doesn't make sense, and obviously it's going to shift the meta. This is the first legendary ship we've had other than Chimera, which is a capital ship, and so I would expect this to shake the meta up pretty well. It's hard to say because I do not have the ship in my hands right now to actually, test it out. And so without feeling that, just looking at this footage, it's hard to say for sure. But that said, really super iconic ship. I mean, it's Han's Falcon. It is the ship of Star Wars. It's the first legendary ship we've had, with the exception of Chimera, so the first true ship, not capital ship. So I would expect this to shake up the meta pretty good. If you guys aren't farming those bounty hunter ships, I would definitely do everything you can to get there. If you care about ships, obviously some people don't care about ships, and this may not be, you're probably not watching this video if you don't care about ships. But this looks to be a go-to ship for the fleet arena, and will definitely be an aid for your guild in territory wars and in territory battles. What are some of your thoughts on the ship? First impressions, let me know down in the comments below, and especially tell me, are you going to get the ship? Are you going to get it 5 stars, 6 stars, 7 stars, or no stars? I'm anxious to hear. And what comps do you think will work with Han and Chewie's Falcon? Load up the comments with all of that below. I would love to hear your take. Thanks again for joining me for the video, my friends. We will look forward to unlocking Han's Falcon. I will do my best to live stream that as soon as I'm ready. My bounty hunters are not quite ready. I still got, I think, probably 40 or 50 shards to find, and so hopefully I can do it day 1, but I might have to wait a little bit into the event, but I should be able to get him at least 5 stars. Thanks again for joining me, my friends, and as always, my brothers, don't forget.
My dead body. Sorry about the mess.